All right, guys, welcome back to another video of Shaman J. Today, we're going to be giving you a follow-up on my 85-inch TCL TV. This is the S-Class 4K UHD HDR LED Smart TV with Google TV. Now, I bought this TV about 3 months ago or so. And the beginning price, like the starting price of this TV, used to be $1,400, folks. If you look there, it used to be $1,400. Well, in fact, now it is down to $799 right now. So you can pause the video, head over to Best Buy because that's where I got it from. Now I didn't pay $1,400. I actually paid $899 because it was on sale. Now the starting price on that TV is now $999, and they're giving a $200 discount off of that. As the holiday season is recording this video, and so bear that in mind when you decide to think about grabbing one of these TVs. The original price was $1,400. This may not look like an 85-inch TV, but it is an 85. I have a really big open living room, and so I could probably do a 100-inch screen right here, and it will probably fit a lot better. But 85 inches is really nice for my living room. It's kind of a sweet spot for me for the size of my living room and the way the TV area is set up. This is definitely a sweet spot. So we're going to talk about my experience today after almost 3 months with this TV. Any problems if I've had any likes, dislikes, we're going to talk about in this video. So first things first, how is the picture quality? Now, a lot of times when I'm doing content on TV, I'll let the screensavers show because they actually can show what the TV can actually do. That is the thing. Some of these, like if I put on a video that I recorded or just watch regular TV, sometimes it doesn't really do it the justice that it could possibly do for a TV. And I think sometimes just letting it go through, and obviously I'll show you my settings and everything. I do have a 65-inch higher trim than this in my bedroom, but I'll show you the settings that I have for my picture profiles and how this one is set up. I don't think I made as many adjustments on the picture profile as I did with the other one in my bedroom, but ultimately this TV right here is very nice with the picture profile the way it's set right now, and I'll go into that. But how's the picture quality? Well, it is phenomenal. You're looking at the screensaver for the Google TV portion of this, and it just cycles through all these different beautiful photos. And I got to tell you, looking at the way it's been recorded and looking at the screen, you are getting a pretty much accurate representation of how beautiful this screen actually is. Now, I am recording in 4K 30 frames per second, but you're getting just about as good as it can get with a beautiful TV screen like this. As you can see here, the TV is actually almost like borderless, man. It is really nice on there. And so there's a very thin frame on this TV, and it's an 85-inch TV, so it really needs to have a really thin frame. So having the 75-inch that I had on this wall mounted up for the last 2.5 years or so, almost 3 years I think it was almost 3 years I've had the same 75-inch TCL TV mounted up on this wall. And so I started having some problems with the picture. So that is why the only reason I upgraded to another TV. And I thought, why not go a little bit bigger? And it pretty much is a great price. Now, as you can see, as it cycles through here, these different kinds of pictures with different color tones and things like that. When you're watching TV, depending on what you're watching, now when I watch Netflix and Prime and all these different things that I'm paying for, I always get the highest one so I can get UHD and HDR whenever possible. But you spend your money how you're going to spend it when you're purchasing streaming content. But what I can tell you is that even when I'm not watching UHD content, 4K content, it's beautiful. It just looks really, really solid. Now, when it comes to watching TV and then listening, it's the other part of the visual is just a part of it. The sound quality has to be good too. Now with this TV right here, it does have some pretty decent speakers on it, but I do have speakers kind of hidden away. I have a surround sound just kind of hidden away down on the bottom down there. And so very seldom do I ever use TV speakers because I want to be immersed in what I'm watching. And so I suggest you do the same. However, if you don't have the money or you don't want to spend the money or you don't have the room to put a surround sound, these TVs, these TVs from TCL, this particular one, it has really good speakers. I'm not going to say it's the best in the world speakers of a TV because this is a thin TV. So it's going to be tough to get a lot of sound out of a very thin module on a TV screen. It's pretty much just, like I said, just borderless. This is all framed. And the back of the TV isn't very thick. Like a side profile of this TV, it isn't very thick. So trying to get like these crazy great sound and speakers out of it, it's almost going to be impossible. So that's why I always recommend, at least minimum, if you're not going to do subwoofers and speakers like I have, just do a sound bar right along the bottom edge of the TV down there, and I think you'll be fine. It'll project right towards you, and I think you'll be happy with the way the sound is. But if in fact you don't have the space or don't want to spend the money on a sound bar or any kind of speakers, these TV speakers will get it done. You'll just have to crank the volume up a little bit louder. It is very loud, but it's very tinny, and it doesn't have as much bass as I would like without the speakers on, but still, it is very good. So you make the adjustments and tweaks how you want to make it. I'm going to get into the picture profile and the sound and everything here. I'm going to show you in just a second, but I just really enjoy looking at these beautiful pictures because it shows you just how beautiful this screen is in all its glory. That is what these screen protectors do for me. They show me just how beautiful it is. Now, sometimes I'll just put the fireplace on and just let it play with the surround sound, and on the TV with all the lights out. It is freaking beautiful, folks. It's freaking beautiful. It's incredible. That is something you definitely could do in your home if you just want to have all the lights out, turn on the fireplace. When I say turn on the fireplace, there's an option on Google TV, or just Google. It's basically a video on YouTube that Google brings forward when you're doing these right here. And you just press up on the remote and it'll show you, it'll take you straight to that. And it's just a long continuous loop, hours of loop of a fireplace. And it is actually really beautiful. I do that in the bedroom sometimes because the one in the bedroom is a 65-inch Q series, not an S series. It's a higher trim or higher version of this TV. And the quality is even better than this. So we've gotten sound quality is good on the internal speakers. Picture quality, where you're looking at it right now, it is actually solid. Just beautiful picture. I mean, you tell me what you think of the way this is coming across to you. Now, I know it's coming through a camera and you can't see it with the naked eye, but I can guarantee you, folks, almost 99% of this coming through is pretty much how it looks if you're watching this on the right TV or the right screen. And another reason why I like to leave it on these screensavers is because it keeps cycling through different colors. Very nice. So sound quality is great for internal speakers, but a sound bar and subwoofer system is always going to be better. Screen quality is phenomenal. The price is right. Now, let's get into this right here. So here's the remote. As you can see, this remote doesn't light up like the 6 series. And that's something that I really didn't like. I was so disappointed that this remote doesn't light up on the 4 on the S series. I was really shocked at that too, and I was like, wow, same remote, but the TV costs less. So yeah, you don't get a light up remote. So if I hit the settings button on the top right of the remote, or I can press it, I can scroll over like this and go all the way to settings like that and get to it. But there's a button on the top of the remote just to hit it. Now you can also choose a screensaver if you like. I just have it set to cycle through Google Photos. So now let's get into, before I get into the actual settings, we can just go straight to picture right here, and it takes you straight into there. So if you can see here, you can see it up there. I have Smart HDR turned on, but if I click on picture modes, you have different kinds. You have sport, movie, game, and it kind of changes through and changes the way the screen looks. It's kind of it's changing for me. I don't know how well you can see it though. You can see it. The tint is changing on the screen. So if I go to movie, you can see how it looks. If I go to game, you see how it looks. And then I scroll up to optimize here, vivid. You'll see it enhances the power. And then you got low power, and then Smart HDR is where I keep it at. That is where I tend to have, I want HDR to be on as much as possible. So as you can see here, powerful and vivid pictures. Now, if you scroll up to vivid, enhances color and contrast. I prefer to have it on Smart HDR. I know you can see those tones change in there, and that's just how I like it. Now, brightness is at 100. I could lower it down a little bit, but to me, I don't really see the difference in the brightness too much. So I just keep it at 100. Saturation is at 50, and we go to advanced. I'm just showing you these profiles, the picture profile, the way it's set, because a lot of people asked that in my other video. They was like, well, what are your picture profiles set at? Well, here they are. Black levels there, dynamic contrast is off, black stretch is off. It enhances the black of the picture and stronger contrast. I've never turned this on before, but I'll put it on low. Dynamic brightness, let's put it on brightness plus. I never changed those, and obviously I'm going in right now to see how this might work for me. I might change it back later, but this is how it's looking for me now. Micro contrast optimizes the contrast by adjusting individual sections of the screen's contrast. So I'll leave that off. Automatically adjust the contrast based on the picture content. I don't like the picture to adjust too much when I'm watching TV. So gamma, I never mess with that. Smaller number makes your picture brighter. So I just leave it in the middle basically. And let's back out of here. So I changed a couple things in there. We go to color. You can see how it is. Color saturation and 10 are at 50 always. I always use dynamic color because it automatically enhances the colors of pictures. So, I'm talking about having those screensavers come up and stuff. I really like how that looks. It helps with that too when the TV is just idle. And so clarity, obviously, this is going to be how sharp it is. The digital noise, I leave it at medium, and noise reduction, I leave it on auto, and I leave this to low. I don't mess with the digital noise or the noise reduction because I want that to be adjusted slightly. Now, motion and clarity reduces motion blur for fast moving objects. I highly recommend you turn that on. Please turn that on. The judder reduction makes motions more fluid, good for movies. Always crank this up if you watch a lot of movies. I watch a lot of football on this TV and a lot of movies, and it's all good. Optimizes the picture quality for better match with Hollywood cinema standards. I leave this off. I just never, when you turn it on, it just looks, I don't know. I just haven't gotten a feel for why I would turn that on. The pictures look good to me, and so I don't really have a problem with that. Now, screen settings, this is auto detect. I always leave that on. The aspect ratio, I always set it to 16:9. I don't do the wide or the zoom or stretch. I don't do any of those. I just leave it at 16:9. And overscan obviously is always on. It adjusts the picture size to obviously appear bigger at the edges of the picture lost. So very clear, straight to the point picture profile there. When I go into the official settings here, you've got your channels, your display, and your sound. Now let's go into the intelligent sound here. The intelligent sound, it detects incoming audio type and automatically adjusts the sound mode. I don't have this on because I don't want it to continue to be different when I watch TV. Same thing here, adjust the picture. It detects incoming encrypted content such as HD, SDR, or digital vision, automatically adjusts the picture quality for each mode. I just leave these off because I don't want my picture changing too much. You do what you want to do, but I don't have those turned on. Now, audio settings, I have mine set to dynamic. I also have a surround sound plugged in, remember. So you can change these to standard, movie, voice, music. You can change this all. I just have it to dynamic because I want the best freaking possible sound because I have a sound bar and I have subwoofers, or I have subwoofers, it's not a sound bar. I have a sound bar and subwoofer in the bedroom, but in here I just have these two subwoofers and two banging speakers in my living room, I guess I'll say. So audio output is set to auto. Now I could turn it on internal speaker, wired headphone, but it is automatically going to pick up RCS because that is how I have the bedroom set up. Now this one is actually plugged in. I have speakers plugged in on this one, but on the bedroom I have RCS because I have that sound bar. But internal speakers is from the TV speakers. And so let me see if I can, I'll switch it here. And then you can see the volume change over there. And I'm going to pause and I'm going to go ahead and get a YouTube video up. This video right here, as you can see here, the volume is at about 20. So I'm going to crank the volume up even more. Let's take a listen.
On sale for quite some time, at least the last 30 days or so. But if you're in the United States, you're probably still focusing on this device, which is the OnePlus Open. This is their latest device.
That is how it sounds. So I'm going to hit the settings button. That's the internal speakers. And I'm going to go ahead and go back into audio. I'm going to go ahead and turn on the, turn it back to auto so I can get my actual speakers going here. You see the volume just changed to 23. Remember I had it on, it was up on like 30 or 40. I don't know what it was.
But I will say for the people that are in the US, if you bought the OnePlus Open, there's really no need for you to get the OnePlus 12. unless you just want to have a slab device.
So you get the gist of it. I don't know how well that comes across on camera, but the internal speakers are pretty decent, man. They are pretty good. However, the surround sound speakers that I have coming out of the bottom left and right, they're sitting off to the side. It's just so much better. There's more tone. There's more life to the way everything's recorded.
It's just loaded with everything that this OnePlus Open has. It's just a slab device. It's gonna be practical.
So that is just a quick look at the audio settings here. Let's go back here into the settings. And I'll talk about this TV versus, some of the other things for the Q series. So sound and audio is good. You get a glimpse of that. You got your privacy, your apps and everything, because this is technically a Google TV. So you can go into apps here and you can see all apps. You can see what's on here. These are all apps I have. A lot of these are just paid services that I have. I don't have anything that's not useful on there, I'll say. You got your system. Let's check the storage. There you go. Total space, 11 gigs. And you can see how it's being used. Available 5.3 gigs, which is good for a TV, man. I mean, when you think about it, yeah. So you got ambient mode where you can do Google Photos, a slideshow, and select the memories you created. Experimental, you can try new sources for content. Obviously, you got your weather for your area, your art gallery, and then you've got all these different things here. Yeah, I mean, you can dig really deep in here and really change a lot of things in here. So you got your power and your energy, all these different things here. So yeah, I mean, it's a good TV, man. Let's go into, let me see if advanced. So you don't need to do that. It's good. Home mode. Get your remote and your pairing everything. Now let's get into dislikes, because there's always going to be some dislikes. Let me go over here real quick. There's always going to be some dislikes. And you can control the screensaver by taking the circular knob that you navigate with and just pressing it over. That's how I just moved to that picture without technically doing anything. So the dislikes I have. When you're using Google TV versus Roku TV, because they give you an option to choose. Now TCL's making their TVs with Google TV or Roku TV. Roku TV navigates a heck of a lot faster. It's just faster than the Google TV experience. I'm literally signed into my Google account on this TV and things like that. So the TV overall runs smooth. You can see me kind of flowing through it. But in reality, the Roku versions that I have a Roku version upstairs, and then the 75 that was here, before this replaced, it was a Roku TV, I believe. And then we have several other Roku versions of this TV throughout the house. I have a 65-inch version upstairs, and I have a 55 up there as well, I believe, and a bunch of different sizes. But they're the older Roku versions, and they run fast because there's not much to it. I think that's kind of, for me, they're native. That's what they were known for initially, was the Roku on their TCL TVs. And the Roku versions of these devices, these TVs, just run faster to me in my experience with them. But the Google TV versions are good. They're really solid. Now, the Q series in my bedroom runs really fast. It runs fast. I think I have a 750, a Q750 or 850 or 750, something like that, 650. I don't know which one it is, but I have the higher version model of this in a 65 in my bedroom, and it runs fast. It runs really fast. Much faster than this one. This is the S series, which is kind of the entry level. But I'm telling you, for $800, folks, this is a major win. Most people aren't looking too much at how fast the TV is switching between items. You're just navigating your TV, and when you put on the TV, it's there, it's set. You've got your TV set the way you want it to be set, and you just scan through the channels or whatever. So all in all, I can tell you, this TV is a great TV. It is worth $800. You cannot go wrong with this TV. If you have the space for it, some people will have this in a small one-bedroom apartment. I say go for it. the bigger the better when you have a TV. I mean, and in a TV like this is very affordable. Do it. Do not hesitate on putting up this TV in your house, on your wall, whatever you're doing, just do it. You're gonna love yourself for it. Don't get the smaller version at the same price. Okay, now if you're going to like a Q series or whatever, and you just really want to the higher quality, I guess, or whatever, then yeah, if you want like the faster speeds flowing within the TV or whatever, definitely you can go ahead and grab the Q series or some of the higher series. But if it's just a TV, you're just watching TV on, folks, this is a major win. This TV is fire for $800. It's an 85-inch. It is clean. So if ever you were questioning whether or not this is a good buy or not, I'm telling you now, it is totally worth. I paid $8.99 for it, and now it's $7.99. It is totally worth it. The price is only going to go down, and then eventually they're not going to sell anymore. So, like I said, man, let me let this dog out. Hold on. All right. Like I said, if you are interested in a TV, I mean, no commercials here, no, any kind of fancy animations. I'm just telling you my experience after almost 3 months with this TV. It is great. I've had my 65-inch, the newer one that I bought right before this one, probably for 6 months. I'm not even sure, 7 months. I'll follow up on that one. I gave you a 45 update review on that one, but it's been probably 4 months to 6 months with that one, I believe, because I got it before this one. But nonetheless, folks, this 85-inch TV is freaking incredible, and it's worth $800. No sales pitch. This is me in my house. I bought the biggest TV I can find at the time with the lowest price, with great quality, and this S series from TCL is the truth. It's your man Jay. Hope you guys enjoyed, and I'll see you in the next one. And by the way, just for reference, this video was recorded with the Pixel 8 Pro. Take care.